What happened in Hungary today is not just a political story. I want to be very clear about that difference. Most of the stories you will see miss the bigger picture completely. This is a huge change in world politics. I am going to explain exactly why it matters. If you are learning something new here, please hit subscribe. Many of you already know what has been happening with this channel. If you want to support the work, there is a link in the description. I spent many months studying what is coming between now and 2030. I put all of that research into an ebook. It is called The Next Global Shift. The book explains how to stay safe from economic problems and war. It covers the economies, the conflicts, and the steps you need to take. If you want my ebook, the link is in the description. Now let us begin the video. Peter Magyar and the Tisza Party have won the Hungarian parliamentary election. They did not win it by a small amount. With about 53% of the reported votes, they beat Viktor Orbán's Fidesz party, which got roughly 39%. Voter turnout reached about 78%. That is almost a record number for Hungary. That number alone shows how strongly people wanted to speak at the voting places. The early results show that Tisza is on the way to win not only a normal majority in parliament, but a supermajority. That means 133 seats, which is two-thirds of parliament. This special number gives the winning party the power to change the constitution itself. With 133 seats, the Hungarian people would not only be voting one government out, they would also be giving the new leaders the real power to rebuild their democracy from its basic legal rules. That difference is very important. Orbán gave up on the same night. He called Peter Magyar directly, and Magyar told everyone about the call in public. Orbán's message said this: "We will keep working to serve our country and the Hungarian people." The election results, even though they are not fully finished, are clear and easy to understand. The chance to lead the government was not given to us this time. I congratulated the winning party. 16 years of building strong control in an authoritarian way ended with one phone call. To understand how big this change really is, you need to know what Orbán's Hungary actually stood for inside the European Union. The real picture is more exact than most news reports show. For 16 years, Orbán took away the independence of the courts. He took control of the newspapers and television. He changed the voting rules to keep his own party strong. Then he used Hungary's place in the European Union as protection. Hungary kept taking money from the European Union. At the same time, Orbán stopped the European Union from helping Ukraine together. He blocked European work on defense. He also sent important secret information toward Moscow. Hungary had an important vote in the EU Council. One single country in a group that needs full agreement can stop everything. That is exactly what Orbán did again and again. He blocked European Union help to Ukraine many times. He made the punishments against Russia weaker. He stopped the kind of united European answer that Ukraine needed the most. He was not just a politician who liked old values and had unusual ideas about other countries. He worked like someone placed inside the European Union's own system of making decisions. Moscow did not have to pay him because European taxpayers were already giving him money through the European Union. That is the real intelligence view, and that ends today. Now let us look at the help that came from outside the country. This election did not happen alone. The size of outside meddling needs to be said clearly. Donald Trump, who is now the President of the United States, gave public support to Viktor Orbán many times and in a strong way during the weeks before the vote. He recorded a video message that was played at a CPAC meeting in Budapest. His exact words were, "I am endorsing his election. He has my complete and total endorsement. He is a fantastic guy." Vance went to Hungary and stood on Hungarian land to help campaign for a leader of another country. He said clearly that he was there to help Orbán as much as he possibly could. Rubio also visited Budapest. He gave a speech that Russian state media liked and quoted. He said the United States and Hungary were starting a golden time of good relations. Donald Trump Jr. wrote a message aimed at the Hungarian people. He told them to vote for his father's friend and partner. Benjamin Netanyahu also added his support to the list. None of this was quiet or hidden. This was a planned effort by several important people from the American government. It included the vice president and others in the executive branch. They were working for a foreign government that shares strategic goals with the Russian Federation. They worked against the democratic groups inside a free European country, and it failed completely. Think carefully about what that failure shows about American influence right now. For 10 years, the United States gained a lot of power in the world because people saw it as the country that protects democratic rules everywhere. The real history on this has many complicated parts, but the idea created trust, strong friendships, unity, and the kind of respect that lets a country lead groups of nations. What Trump, Vance, and Rubio did in Hungary goes against every part of that old idea. The current vice president traveled to another country to campaign against a movement that wanted more democracy. That movement stood for working together in the European Union, for helping Ukraine, and for following the rule of law. Instead, they campaigned to keep a government that had spent years hurting America's friends from inside European groups. The Hungarian people saw all of it. They saw Trump write messages every day on social media telling them how to vote. They saw their country's CPAC meeting where people heard speeches and then heard crowds in the streets shouting, "Russia, go home." After that, they went to vote in very large numbers and chose the other side. That is not only a result inside one country, that is a clear public decision by voters against the close connection between Trump, Orbán, and Putin. It came from the people who feel the effects the most, and it happened with 78% of voters taking part. Orbán's last few weeks showed their own story. He tried to create fake problems to scare people. He said without good proof that the Ukrainian President Zelensky was planning to attack Hungarian buildings and systems. Magyar's team answered every one of those claims in a direct way, step by step, and without big drama. Magyar stayed clearly in front the whole time. He did not win because his team made more noise. He won because he knew that in a world full of false information, being exact with facts and speaking clearly are the best tools. That difference was there for Hungarian voters to see for many weeks. They made their own decisions. Ursula von der Leyen, who is the president of the European Commission, put out a statement tonight. It said, "Europe's heart is beating stronger in Hungary tonight." Then it added that Hungary has chosen Europe. Europe has always chosen Hungary. A country is taking back its European direction. The Union is becoming stronger. Here's what that really means in a practical way. If Tisza gets the supermajority that the early numbers suggest, Hungary will not only change its ideas about other countries, it will also take away the inside block that has been stopping the whole European Union from working together on Ukraine, on punishments for Russia, and on building stronger defense for many years. The European Union system will suddenly work much better. The peace that Moscow had quietly placed inside Brussels will be removed from the game. There is one more part worth looking at before we finish. At Trump's meeting about peace, Trump spoke openly about supporting leaders in other countries. His own words showed exactly how he thinks. He said, "I am not supposed to be endorsing people, but I endorse when I like people." He was a little behind in the polls, and he ended up winning by a large amount. As long as it works, it is okay with me. That statement is not about big ideas or beliefs. That is the point. It describes a way of building power through personal deals. It is about making a group of leaders who are friendly to him. These leaders will not question the power of the American president. They will protect old ways of strong control, and when needed, they will act as blocks against groups of countries that work together in a democratic way. Hungary said no to that group tonight. It took one piece out of that system. What happens next in Slovakia, in Serbia, and inside the votes for working together in the European Union will show the marks of what the people in Budapest decided today at the voting places. The crowds in the streets tonight shouting, "Russia, go home," are not only happy about an election win, they are telling you something clear about where history is going. That message will reach much farther than the borders of Hungary. This is the video for today. If you want my ebook, The link is in the description. See you later.